Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Legends of Lucha Libre Fanaticos Wave 2 Ultimo Dragon figure from Boss Fight Studios and Masked Republic. I have been waiting years for an Ultimo Dragon fully articulated figure. Have you? Of course you have. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure is positively gorgeous. And I'll be honest, I did not expect any less from Boss Fight and Masked Republic. They have absolutely brought it with every single Legends of Lucha Libre release, and this is absolutely no exception. And just Ultimo Dragon has a fantastic look anyway, and they just, a lot of love and care went into this. The first thing I want to draw attention to, pardon me, is just the texture they put here at the chest piece, where you can see the nice woven details. You can see the stitches here up at the kind of little accents here, and yeah, just beautiful attention to detail. Speaking of which, just colors, paint is all super crisp, and of course we get that turquoise with the red and the gold, and just it's a very striking combination in general, but just with that paint being applied so crisply, it just totally drives it home. Just looks amazing. Love the fact that they do the overlays with the masks over an actual head sculpt, so like it actually gives it some depth, gives it some realism, and yeah, could not ask for more there. Just really great stuff all around here, and I can see all those details on the boots and stitching, and just so much good stuff. I just absolutely love it. And one thing I do want to draw attention to here, just the second time I said that, pardon me, but is the scaling, and they did switch it up a little bit here for this second wave. So there was definitely some controversy, I want to say loosely, over the scaling of both the premiums and the Fanaticos for wave 1. And here we see Penta next to Ultimo Dragon. You can see that Penta is a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter. So if we're talking like real life heights, Penta is 5'10", at least as far as I know, and Ultimo Dragon is actually my height at 5'8". So obviously Penta should be taller, and he's not. So that might bother some people depending on how you look at these things. Not a total thing for me, but I mean, I can see that bothering some people, and it should be noted that they are listening clearly, because they're scaling this new wave bigger than they did the previous. So obviously stuff's being heard. So there is that. So that is up to you to decide whether that bothers you or not. But overall, just like such a good looking figure. And yeah, that's aesthetics. Articulation, balance here are wonderful, especially considering this is essentially the basics line for this property, or this approach. So yeah, as you can see, you can hold the freestanding kick. This did take a little bit. The ankle on mine's a little loose, which I'll probably fix up with some Kiki's joint fix. But other than that, like, everything's great here. So breaking it down, we do have our barbell joint up into the head and down to the body. That allows us to get all the up. They allowed so much range under this head sculpt, and then all the down as well. That gives us tilt for days. Of course, we're getting rotation there as well. Our shoulders are hinge and swivel, so we're coming up just past our T, actually pretty much into our wide pose. We don't have any bicep, but we do have single jointed elbows. I'm actually going to do the right because that does not have the elbow pad on it. So as you can see, we're coming up to there, not quite 90. That one's a little sad, unfortunately, but we do get some rotation there as well. And then wrists are hinge and swivel, and all of our hinges are vertical, which is something I'm very happy to say. Then we come to the torso, and nothing in the diaphragm. Again, these are kind of basic figures, but we do get a ball joint here at the waist, and that allows for incredible crunch, better than some figures that have both elements. So, take from that what you will. Now we got some great arch as well, and then incredible side to side. So really, Boss Fight engineered these beautifully. Come to the hips, and we are getting full splits. Absolutely wonderful. We are getting pretty much full front kick, almost 90, not quite there though. Our knees are on just a single hinge, so that brings us to pretty much 90. We do get boot swivel, then we get some very nice point, get a wee bit of forward, and then we get a whole bunch of rocker. So that's articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with all the other Fanaticos figures so far, with some other wrestling lines, with some Hasbro and some Mattel. with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with articulated icons, Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valorverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Legends of Lucha Libre Fanaticos Wave 2 Ultimo Dragon is that this is a just absolutely beautiful figure. It's just more of what certainly I love about the Legends of Lucha Libre line, both Fanaticos and the Premium. There's a few changes they made beyond the scaling that I didn't actually touch on earlier. Mostly, they're definitely using a different grade or style of plastic here. It's a little bit harder and not quite as pleasant to me. But overall, I don't think really affects the enjoyment of the figure. Just something worth noting, and probably the change that they made due to the scaling being different, because obviously a bigger figure is going to cost more to produce and they want to keep the same price point. So I'm assuming that's where that was from. Also, the detents and the joints on this wave are definitely a lot deeper and required a little bit of warm up where wave 1 didn't. But you know, as with most of your figures, again, if a joint isn't moving right away, heat it up, whether you heat up water or you're using a hairdryer or whatever. You know, that's just kind of collectible action figure 101 at this point. So that is what it is, and those are just kind of my kind of extra points. But beyond that, I could not recommend this enough. I mean, I love this figure, I love this line. Just, again, been waiting for an Ultimo Dragon figure, and they just nailed it here. It's beautiful, it articulates exceptionally well, and yeah, just so good. Cannot recommend it enough. And if you are interested, it is available on various online retailers, not limited to Entertainment Earth, of whom I happen to be an affiliate. Right now this is up for pre-order, but if it is in stock when you watch this video and you're interested, you will get 10% off, or pardon me, let me backtrack a little bit. If you use the code that shows up here, and this is in stock, you will get 10% off. And if your total order is over $79 at this point, they kind of changed that a little bit over time, so it might be different when you see this as well. Your shipping will be free. So if any of that kind of sweetens the pot for you, definitely get down on that. But beyond that, wholly recommend that you pick this up wherever it's from. And apparently they're showing up on shelves and GameStops as well. So there's that. So all that being said, I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, I hope you come back, because I do multiple reviews a week of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. And I've been doing a lot more pro wrestling reviews just because pro wrestling figures seem to come out like constantly. So I just had a constant stream there, definitely ramping that up. So if this is a thing that interests you, come on back, let's talk some more toys, let's have some more fun. And ultimately, I just hope you are well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true. And most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.